listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Hello, everybody. You have tuned into The Review. It's the Online Sports Guys college football podcast featuring us, the Online Sports Guys. And we got lots to talk about this week, guys, because it was one of the better weeks in college football that we've had so far this season.
Says you.
Lots of ranked teams in action, some good upsets, some good competitive games. And actually, before we get into the games, I want to talk a little bit about the coaching carousel, which has already begun because one of our favorite coaches is now without a job.
See, now this is the thing that got me. Why, and this doesn't shock me at all.
And by the way, we're talking about Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State.
His hair was asked to stay in Stillwater, by the way. Gundy, you can go. The hair has to stay.
It will be part of the statue that's erected in his honor at some point in his later
existence. Yes, the live
literally half his life spent there.
Yeah, and the raccoon that will be on top will be live. The statue will be of some other metal. So, of course, full disclosure, we tape on Sunday mornings and try to get this thing out as quickly as humanly possible for the sake of making sure that it's timely. So, of course, what does Oklahoma State do? They wait until we are done with the show.
Sunday afternoon.
Starting to post it Sunday afternoon, and then they decide that they are going to fire a man, and he's no longer 40. So
that's happened 2 weeks in a row, by the way.
Oh, I know.
All right, who we taking out this week?
I have a contender for that list, which we'll get to here very
Your doppelganger?
Yeah, there you go. Hit it.
We're going after your stunt double.
Yeah, really? So we got Phil and the giggles. Let's go ahead and start talking about games while Phil's giggling.
Yes, we got quite a few games. We're going to start on Friday because we had some ranked teams in action. The first one being the team of Mr. Nelson, who has turned his picture off for the few minutes, which is going to make Marty's editing job a little harder.
Nope, I'm just going to put a stick figure in his place.
See, now, if I could start cussing like Buford T. Justice, I would absolutely do it right now.
Because
use the TV version.
Because basically Virginia barbecued Florida State's ass.
And molasses, yes, thank you.
The Seminoles traveled up to
You're going to win to your grave.
They lose to the Cavaliers, who have improved quite a bit.
Put the evidence in the car.
This past season.
Put the evidence in the car, Junior.
Virginia gets the win in double overtime, 46-38.
Yeah. Your point.
What was the over for that game?
I think it was in the mid-60s.
Yeah, not that high.
They cleared it. I mean, it was easy. But I'm going to refrain from discussing the actual game itself. There will be a moment. There will be a moment with all of these court stormings and field stormings. There will be a moment where you will have a home student who will do what the home student at Virginia did in front of Thomas Castellanos with a rolling video feature on their phone. And there will be a student at some point who will not be as lucky as that particular student was as he buzzed by Thomas Castellanos out the door.
Yeah, and we probably should talk about what happened after that game because arguably that was more significant than what happened during the game. Mm-hmm. Once Virginia got the win in double overtime, literally within a fraction of a second, the students stormed the field, nearly stomping Florida State wide receiver Squirrel White to death.
Mm-hmm.
Before the scene was cleared at Scott Stadium, you had 19 people that were injured in some way, shape, or form and treated at the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
No, I mean, it is. I'm guessing that there is probably something on the back of the ticket that has to do with assumed risk. And that would be the Google search for today, kids.
Yeah, but the players are not assuming that.
I know. I'm talking.
They subscribe to Disney Plus, so
I'm specifically referring to the folks that decided to take their own emotions into their own hands after the game. That's specifically who I'm referring to on the back of the ticket. There's got to be something on there about assumed risk. And I will give the UVA students a boatload of credit. I mean, it was great. I mean, it was a great visual, and they wasted no time, and the timing was perfect. But there's going to be a day where you're going to have something worse than the 19 injuries. There's going to be a day where you have something worse than a student who is buzzing past a quarterback and he's shooting video live on whatever social media platform he's on, and he decides he wants to tell that rival quarterback that he's number one. There will be a receipt at some point, not necessarily tied to Florida State, but there will be a receipt when you have that kind of an action. That is coming. Sadly, we know that as these stormings continue, we will have a day where we're talking about something that we don't want to talk about. And so I know that they're coming, and I'm cringing about that day when it does come. So just prepare yourselves for it. Sadly, I think that we're going to have that kind of a day come. I yield the balance of my time.
And we are barreling very quickly toward that time now, because what was once a cool novelty kind of thing to do when you beat the number one team or you beat a team in the top five is now something that schools do, or the student sections do, when they win a game.
Yeah.
Unless you're Wake Forest and you line up and oops.
Oh, we'll talk about that one in a
Rule
minute.
of thumb, be a decent human being. Nobody's going to stop you when you're trying to storm the field.
Mm-hmm.
Someone falls, help them up. There's no need to step on anybody or shove somebody. Just go.
Nope. And
John Fox, what do you tell 20,000 rampaging 20-year-olds who many of whom have been drinking the entire day?
See, Sly was going exactly where you wanted his 12-year-old brain to go.
One thing now with electronic tickets, I mean, you don't have the back of it to have the legal disclaimers on it. So that's another situation. But I don't know if it is controllable. And I don't know if you want a big police force encircling the field either at every game. So I don't know. And in basketball, they seem to have some sort of decorum figured out. I don't know if they have things operationally in place for something as large as a football stadium, but I agree with John that something bad is going to happen, and it likely soon. So it's better to get ahead of it than have someone die as a result.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I'll mention on the game before we move along to some other topics. Big shout out to Chandler Morris of UVA, who accounted for 5 touchdowns in that game, throwing for 2, running for 3. Very good performance. In Virginia, while they may not be a threat to win the national championship, this is the best they've looked in a long time.
Yeah, and shout out also to the ACC, who opened the door so we can see video review. You got to hear the conversations. You got to hear what the officials were discussing the entire time and the walkthrough. I want all the conferences to have this kind of openness. So a shout out to the ACC for walking us through these kinds of situations, even though the pass was complete.
Shout out to the XFL for starting that.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, a very cool thing. The other game on Friday night, also a barn burner, and a very good game in the Big 12. Arizona State gets the win over TCU, 27-24. Good win.
Another example of in the Big 12, no one is safe week to week. It's going to be, there might be a couple teams separate themselves toward the end, but you never know. It's going to be a jumble.
A very competitive game with 2 very good football teams. We'll move on to Saturday's action and some top 25 stuff first. Ohio State with a win 24-6 over Washington out in beautiful Seattle. Solid performance by the Buckeyes. Nothing particularly flashy, but they got their business taken care of. And Marty, I do want to mention one thing. For those of you not keeping a close tab on who's who in college football right now, I love the fact that the featured running back for the Buckeyes right now is Bo Jackson.
When they were recruiting, I was pulling so hard for that just to open Photoshop and get the old Bo Jackson scores.
Bo over the top. Yeah.
I know he's the one they're talking about, but that no-name defensive line they got with no big names. Two guys named Caden.
Well, I think
My
you
goodness.
just figured out. You just figured out their name. It's
What
just-
was Washington scoring a game? Like 40 something?
Well, I mean, but, all right. So let's go down that rabbit hole real quick. Oh no, but just all right. So you're 3-0 going in. You scored 38 against Colorado State. You scored 70 against UC Davis, and you scored 59 in the Palouse against Washington State. Not necessarily a lot of top 25ers there.
No.
Yeah, North Texas beat Washington State as well.
Mean Green 5-0, baby.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the kid on the sideline, but try to stay awake in those Adirondack chairs.
And by contrast, Washington State not holding up their end of the deal for the 2-pack.
No. That is true.
But they're top 2 in the conference.
That is also true. That's also true.
Moving down the list, this game was intense.
Bonkers.
Oregon traveled to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. Once again, Penn State unable to win a game against a top 10 team when they, even in their own backyard, Oregon gets to win 30-24 in overtime. Really good performance by the Ducks. Penn State, what were they thinking on offense?
They don't think, dude. Hey, if you're going to have a whiteout, which jersey do you wear? Hey, let's break out the blues. Jesus.
Because logic.
Do you think Joe Paterno left some of his depends at the in that coach's locker room? Because it seems like
they need
Mr. Big Game
there.
might need him.
You know, I can make a gross comment there, and I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe Paterno, well, no, it was Penn State is obviously really good, but having a philosophy that's better suited for the 80s of just sort of going along and scoring when you need to and not taking many risks. I don't know if that's going to do the job against teams like Oregon, because Oregon, until it was 17-3, were in complete control of the game, and Penn State then in desperation mode opened it up. But it just seems like that'll get them to a certain point, but I don't know how far that will actually take them, that philosophy.
Yeah, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about hot seat coaches. I don't know that James Franklin's going to lose his job during the season, but I think they're going to need to be taking a very long, hard look at the way things are at Penn State after the season, because I think they may have peaked. And that peak is not getting them over the hurdle that gets them in the same air as an Oregon or an Ohio State or a Georgia or an Alabama. And that's really where they want to be.
The only peaks at Penn State are the mountains you drive over to get there.
Yeah.
There's no peak. Jeez.
Marty, do you have a rim shot available for you?
Maybe. If you want another disappointment, go there and get some Altoona style pizza.
No.
Oh.
No.
You don't want to know.
Pass.
No, I
I'm going
don't.
to say American cheese, and that should be enough to tell you.
Yikes.
Google it.
Yeah, not gonna.
Another very good team, another very good game featuring some top-ranked teams. LSU travels to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. Ole Miss gets the win 24-19. LSU, that's another team that to me should never have been ranked as high as they were. They were fourth going into that game.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
They're not a
SEC
bad
team's
team.
getting overranked? What?
Which is not to say they're not a bad team. Their defense is pretty good.
They're a good team with a crappy coach.
Yeah. Garrett Nussmeier did almost nothing. He was hyped as the Heisman Trophy candidate along with Arch Manning this year.
Not on this show, he wasn't.
And I'm not sure which one of them was a more highly overrated of the two. And you want to talk about college football quarterbacks coming out of nowhere? How about the story of Trinidad Chambliss?
Mm-hmm.
The kid comes from Ferris State. He starts the season as a backup, ends up with a job after the starting quarterback gets hurt, and he just goes and starts marching them right down the field and winning games. Chambliss, 23 for 39, 314 with a TD and an interception, and he added 71 yards running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find him a receiver named Tobago just so we could have great T-shirts there.
Oh,
Yeah, David Hale
see?
made that joke in his ESPN column this week. It's like, we just need to find out if he has a brother named Tobago.
Yes. Well, and you look at Ferris and maybe say Ferris. I don't know.
Oh, band references. I like it.
Trinidad Shambles comes from Ferris State. Ferris State consistently is a D2 power. I mean, literally top five. Sunrise is in the East. We pay taxes in April. Ferris State is a Division two power. So I think that when you don't look at a bio and you don't understand the context of where someone is coming from, just because the bio says they're from a 1AA, and yes, I just aged myself with that reference. It took me too long to think about FCS. Division two, Division three, wherever you're coming from. Look at the bio, look where they're coming from, look what they did there, and then don't be so surprised when you see Trinidad Chambliss throw for 3 spins and run for more yards in a game like this one. Look, Ferris has been in big games before. They know how to deal with, I don't know, a postseason championship run with playoffs every single week.
Just don't call him Bueller.
Well, give it time. No, I think we need to. You have that body of work that you get at Ferris State. Everybody knows about the Ferris State Bulldogs in Division II. We've covered them in the midweek before. So always look. I know it takes a little bit of effort sometimes. Always look where someone's coming from so you understand what they've been able to go through, and then you're not as surprised when you see Trinidad Chambliss have a moment like he had on Saturday.
Totally impressed. I watched a good chunk of that game. Ole Miss.
And what do you want to bet Whit Week's social media is blowing up ever since that game was over?
Yeah, by the way, if you don't know, the reason we mentioned LSU linebacker Whit Weeks, he's dating Lane Kiffin's daughter.
Proud of a Coney County High School and a Coney County Warrior. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Not enough to make Lane Kiffin's daughter pick or cheer for LSU, not this game at least.
No.
But there was a running joke throughout the game within the family because Kiffin mentioned Mr. Weeks after the game when he was interviewed on the field.
Weeks!
Speaking of ranked teams that went down, and two teams that probably were a little bit overrated going into the season. One's on the upswing, the other not so much. Alabama marches into Sanford Stadium and knocks off the Georgia Bulldogs 24-21, breaking Georgia's 6-year undefeated streak at home.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just trying to keep him as the coach in Bama?
That could be.
Cool his seat down a little.
I was very impressed watching Ty Simpson play, which begged the question I had as I'm sitting there watching him shred the Georgia defense is, why wasn't he playing quarterback for them last year?
That would be a question for Mr. DeBoer, sir.
He went 24 for 38, 276, 2 touchdowns. He was a step ahead of Glenn Schumann's defense pretty much the entire game.
Do you think that Nick Saban left the old game plans against Georgia somewhere in the internal servers? Because it looked like they were in complete command of everything that was going on, and were one step ahead of Georgia the entire time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that there's some. I'm sure that there were some flash drives that were hanging around.
Did he remove the special team sheet that says when to kick a field goal?
Oh, that's been Saban's thing forever. That wherever.
Or did he give DeBoer the message that make Kirby have to make a weird decision in the fourth quarter that makes absolutely no sense to anybody but him and have it fail? The play I'm referencing is midway through the fourth quarter, Georgia driving the ball down by a field goal, 24-21, again, with a chance to tie the game. And instead of taking the field goal and the points and giving his defense a chance to give him a shot to win, Kirby goes for it on 4th and 2, and the play tanks. They lose 4 yards. Alabama gets the ball. They move it down the field and run out the clock. Game over. Thanks for playing.
Price is Right loser horn applied here.
He tried to justify that call after the game, but it's like, why would you do that? I mean, it's one thing to do it at midfield if you don't want to punt, but it's another thing entirely to do it on the 8-yard line.
The only thing I can think of is that he didn't think his defense could stop Alabama.
But
That
they'd
he was going
stopped
to
the
force them
entire
to.
half.
Yeah, but I don't know of any other reason why you would do that, because the only reason to try to score a touchdown would be to go up by more than a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm as baffled as you are.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
And it's a trend here because it's something that Georgia does every time they play Alabama. They don't do it when they play other teams.
I just think that every team that we know that has a pedigree, capital P, they have their boogeyman. Whatever it is, the boogeyman is always there. And I think in Georgia's case, it is Alabama. It is inexplainable. Literally, this would be like where we bring in Leonard Nimoy and do In Search Of's open, in search of the boogeyman for the University of Georgia. That everybody's got their boogeyman. For Florida State, it's the uprights, both the left and the right. Those are the boogeymen for Florida State. So
particularly when they play Miami.
And so just in general, the boogeymen for Florida State are uprights. The boogeyman for University of Georgia is Alabama, regardless of where you play. Could be in Tuscaloosa, could be between the hedges, could be downtown Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's just that boogeyman is always there. And there's always that moment where you're chasing that shadow and you're going, okay, I'm going to trust my gut here and go for this offensive call. So I know that I have a little bit of margin for error and a 4-point lead. So I chalk it up to the boogeyman, which is an intangible, and Brent and Jimmy the Greek would be happy about that.
Very good.
Regression reference. Going to be interesting to see how both teams finish up the season. Neither one of them out of playoff contention with a loss, but they got some work ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on down the list, we go to College Station, Texas,
Why?
where Texas A&M gets the win over
Why?
Auburn. Not exactly the prettiest game in the world, but Texas and A&M doing what they need to do to get the win.
It's more like Auburn not doing what they need to do. Jackson, look, here's the thing. I'm going to say this right now for every team that goes up against Auburn for the remainder of this season. Make Jackson Arnold beat you with his arm. Keep him contained.
This sounds vaguely like the same conversation we've had about Auburn for the last, 3 or 4 years?
And who's been the head coach for the last 3 or 4 years? The same dude. You sit there and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring in Peyton Thorne. And guess what? I'm going to bring in Jackson Arnold for, I think it was $2 million was the reported nil figure.
It's not the definition of madness doing the same thing over and over again.
Insanity,
and
yes.
Fail.
It is insanity. Just ask the folks that have to go and sit at Jordan-Hare Stadium and watch this stuff every single week.
The eyes on Patty's fathead are turning red as we discuss this.
Literally. I mean, look, Jackson Arnold on the day. 18 of 33 for a buck and a quarter. Average of 3.8 yards per attempt. QBR of 35.1. I don't know how they do QBR, but I think that's a low number, and that's not good. And then, because he panics, Jackson Arnold, if he doesn't have his first target, he tucks and runs. If he has that opening between guard and tackle and things open up, literally, it's check number 1, primary target not available. I see an opening. I'm going to tuck and go. As long as you keep contained and you have sure tackling, Jackson Arnold does nothing for you offensively. And he didn't do that in College Station. 15 carries, 11 yards as he's running for his life and thinks he needs to play hero ball the entire time.
Well, I think some of that, too, had to do with Texas A&M having a pretty damn good defense and being a darn physical team.
Not in dispute. Not in dispute. And I know that Mike
And it was more about what Texas A&M did as opposed to what Auburn didn't do.
Well, I think that it's a cause and effect, but sure. So
you just describe Auburn season.
Yeah, rest of the year. Keep Jackson Arnold between the tackles. Don't send blitzers. Keep contain, and you'll have an easy time with it. And all you have to do is be clinical offensively, and then you end up with the win. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen and Auburn fans, enjoy the Independence Bowl.
Oh.
Moving on down the list, Indiana barely squeaking out the win, 20-15 over Iowa, and a tough place to play.
Uh-huh.
But
Iowa
for
covered.
Mendoza comes through again in the clutch, throwing a 49-yard touchdown pass with just about a minute and a half left to go in the game.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Sly, let me ask you this. Okay. First and foremost, we knew there was no way they were going to get to the total. The total is 47.5. We knew that wasn't going to. So, it's late in the game. You're up by 7. And you've got the ball, at your own 38 or something like that? What's your play call at that point?
I would hope a runoff tackle.
Yeah. That's not what
It's
Indiana
Iowa.
did.
No,
That's not what Indiana did.
no.
They decided that
Curious stuff in that one.
they're going to run backward for like 35 yards to try to run the clock out. You want to talk about a bad beat?
Yeah.
That's, I
You
guess
get a
that's
safety and it's 20-15, no time on the clock, and guess what? Game ain't over. You got to do a free kick.
Run clock doesn't mean run towards the clock.
That.
I guess that's one way to approach it.
When that number at 6.5, it just seemed like something strange was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
Iowa. Something strange always happens.
Exactly.
There's some children of the corn stuff going on out there.
Oh.
Speaking of the state of Iowa, Iowa State hosted Arizona. Easy win for Iowa State. They roll 39-14.
Mhm.
Tennessee escapes Mississippi State.
Oh, man.
Tennessee gets the win 41-34 in overtime.
Damn it, Bobby.
The Bulldogs are not the pushover they've been the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah. That was
Still losing.
Yeah.
Well, they're 4-1 on the season, even with that loss.
Well, hang on. Hang on.
And
sir.
those wins are against
Southern Miss, Arizona State, in a game that Arizona State should have won, really, except that they forgot how to have a secondary respond to an out and up late in the game. Alcorn and Northern Illinois.
And they have a better record than Auburn.
Oh, absolutely true.
Oh, there's a
not
compliment.
not in dispute in this household, not at all. No, that's like I said. There's a reason that the boss just listens to this show on the mid level and does not participate.
Speaking more SEC action, Vanderbilt and everybody's favorite quarterback, Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
With a huge offensive turnout. Pavia throws for 5 touchdowns, runs for another one. The Commodores end up beating Utah State 55-35 to go 5-0 on the season.
Good on them. I think it's the first 5-0 since like ever. Well, I mean, it's been a while.
It's not the first 5-0 since ever, but it's
Close.
the first one in many, 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 many years.
So you're saying it's been many years.
Yes.
Okay. Just
Sets
check.
up a wild game next week.
Yes, it sets up the Vanderbilt-Alabama game next week, which is going to be really interesting.
Well, I mean, so it's the first time since 2008. So that's not like forever and ever, but it's ever. But right now,
Depending on who you're talking to, it was forever and ever
Yeah, that's
and
true.
ever ago in a whole different world.
yeah. So you're 5-0 right now. You beat Charleston Southern. You won at Virginia Tech. You helped out a dismissal of a coach there. You won at South Carolina in a blowout, which I think was the marker that everybody was staring at. You put 70 up on Georgia State. Del McGee knows he has some work to do. And then you beat Utah State, putting 55 on them. The next month for Vanderbilt, by the way, Tuscaloosa, hosting LSU, hosting Missouri, at DKR to take on Texas. How's that for the next month? Yeah, how's that for the next month for Vanderbilt?
They could take LSU.
Mm-hmm.
That should be an interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a really interesting game.
I like Diego and nobody expects him to win.
Go, Diego, go. Exactly.
Yeah. Missouri with an easy win.
Go. Let's go to the next one. I need to hear Sly talk about this one. Go.
Yeah. Missouri with the easy win over UMass 42-6. We don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't.
The next game, however, we do need to talk about, and that's Sly's Illini. They did some fighting. They bounced back from a horrible performance against Indiana.
I'm
And
just going to point in his
squeeze
direction
out-
and let him go.
Mm-hmm.
squeeze out the 34-32 win over USC at the buzzer on a 41-yard field goal.
Careful now.
Yeah, couple things from each side here. For Illinois, I mean, when you're trying to build a program to be a consistently good team, you really see what you're made of after what happened at Indiana. And so with homecoming, big noon kickoff, all that stuff, they they put out messaging throughout the week that we're not going to panic, but there's a lot of stuff to fix here, and they fixed enough so that they could put forth a competitive effort. Now, USC had some obstacles to deal with themselves, having a late game at Purdue 2 weeks ago, traveling all the way back, a late game at home against Michigan State, then coming to play 9 a.m. game at Illinois. They had a real chance early in the game. They got the ball first, or moving right down the field, and fumbled inside the 30-yard line. And then it became a situation where Illinois was going to fight. They had no choice in that game. So both teams messed up a bunch of scoring opportunities through turnovers and penalties. And was just going to see what mistake or what tactical error or what heroic effort would wind up determining the game. And to me, after Illinois fumbled inside the 5-yard line the second time, which really could have derailed the whole thing, and murmurs through the crowd, same old Illinois, that whole business. USC, I thought, made it. I understand where Lincoln Riley's coming from, but scoring with 2 minutes to go when they could have found ways, Illinois wasn't going to stop them. I think that was clear. So for some reason, making the decision to score with 2 minutes to go, with Illinois with 3 timeouts, USC really, the tactical mistake there is what cost them a game and may hurt their chances in the Big Ten, because I think they have a really good team, and it's tough to go out there and win. And getting a road win like that would have really helped their cause moving forward. And thank goodness they did, because Illinois got away with one, and now they can move on and sort of see what the rest of the season can do for them.
10 separate receivers yesterday for Luke Altmaier as a part of that offense. But no, that's a clutch win. And if Lincoln Riley is going to continue to say what he was saying about his schedule, then don't join the B1G.
Yeah. This is what you signed up for. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's not just cashing big checks from TV.
Moving on down the list, an impressive performance by Notre Dame, and we talked at the beginning of the show about coaches who may disappear this week. I think that coach could potentially be Arkansas' Sam Pittman, as his Arkansas Razorbacks barely put up a fight. Notre Dame smokes them at home, 56-13, in a game that really wasn't that close. It was 42-13 at the half. Jeremiah Love had a huge game for Notre Dame. Notre Dame looked really good. Arkansas looked like they were still asleep.
Buyout is 75% of remaining compensation through the end of the 2027 calendar year, so it comes out to about $9.8 million.
I did read this morning that goes down once his overall record is 500 or less, which means they just have to lose 2 more games.
But do you want?
Are we picking a date for that that opening?
So if he's 2 games over 500 right now, his next 2 games are Tennessee and Texas A&M.
Ooh,
and that'll do it.
He's in Knoxville and he's hosting. He's in Knoxville and he's hosting A&M. Then at 500 in his career at Arkansas, who's on the board next? Auburn in Fayetteville.
Yeah, that the buyout goes down. I believe it was $3 million from what I read. Once that record gets to that point,
oh boy! So it's the Auburn home game
has a decision to make.
Yes, they do. Do they want to pull the ripcord now, or do they want to wait until you have these 2 games against top 25 teams, 2 games that aren't top 25, and then 3 games that are to finish your season? So 5 of your final 7 games are against top 25 ranked opponents.
And oddly,
in case you're looking, he's number 5 on coacheshotseat.com.
Oh, wow.
And the odds-on favorite to be your interim coach once that happens?
Oh God.
Robert Petrino Esquire, your offensive coordinator
Yeah.
in Fayetteville.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Some things come when you talk about things coming full circle, that would be about as full circle of a moment that you could ever possibly have.
Too many jokes must not mock.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. That's a word to use, certainly,
Yeah, we're trying to be polite here
for now.
at the moment. We can go through some other games. Oh, wanted to talk about this one. I wish
Duke and
Yeah.
Syracuse?
No, before we get to that one, I wanted to talk about Georgia Tech and Wake Forest, and it's unfortunate that Brother J-Dub prefers being on a milk carton than joining us during the show anymore.
Really?
Because Georgia Tech won the game in overtime, 30-29, after intercepting a Robbie Ashford pass in the end zone in overtime.
Yeah.
But what was interesting in this game is in the fourth quarter, there was a play where a clear offsides penalty against Georgia Tech that was not called. Wake Forest ends up having to kick the ball to Tech. They go down, kick a field goal, tie the game. It goes to overtime. Tech loses.
Welcome to the review.
Yes.
Mhm.
The Atlantic Coast Conference has already admitted that the refs completely missed the call.
Offsides, anybody?
Yeah. And that's a legitimate argument, but you could also make the argument they still had a chance to win the game and didn't.
And that's the real argument is your second point there, counselor. That's what Wake had a lead, couldn't hold it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, you stop Georgia Tech in overtime, we're not having this conversation.
Stop them in regulation from scoring. You definitely aren't having this conversation.
I just feel bad for the students lining up.
Oh. Yeah, I was in Winston-Salem and they were getting ready to go, and then all of a sudden, not so much.
Yeah.
The last time I saw an offsides that egregious that wasn't called, it was Rudy.
Or during a tush push on a Sunday.
Yeah.
If you so choose, we could talk about Duke and Syracuse. I don't know if Sly's going to want to talk about that one.
Could be the shortest soundbite in the history of the show.
Duke wins 38-3 in a game that really also wasn't that close.
If I were a bettor, I would have been all over Duke on that, because having seen a lot of scouting about Duke with Illinois playing them earlier, I mean, they are good. They had a rough non-conference, losing to Illinois and at Tulane, but they're a good team. And Syracuse losing their quarterback the week before, I mean, it was just a perfect spot for Duke to come in and shellac them, and that's exactly what happened. Syracuse is probably just gassed after beating Clemson, losing their quarterback, and yeah, you can see this one coming. Short answer.
Yeah. Want to mention something really quick in this game. Louisville ends up staying undefeated, beating Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh 34-27. The highlight of the game is late in the game after Pittsburgh scores, that one of the Pittsburgh players tries to go get the ball from let's just say an eager ball boy.
Oh yeah.
That wants to make sure that his team, Louisville, gets the ball back. The ball boy wins the fight and wins the argument after Louisville scores late, ends up winning.
Hey, he went home with that ball. He's a ball man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Good.
That's 3D chess right there. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Some good Big 12 action out in Lawrence, Kansas. Kansas goes to 3-2, or drops to 3-2 though, after Cincinnati comes to town and wins with 29 seconds to go on a 2-yard run, 37-34 on what sounds like it was a pretty good game.
Another example of the Big 12, you never know week to week who's going to beat whom, and it'll affect all their bowl appearances and playoff possibilities.
I mean, all you got to do is look at the yardage and know that it's a big 12-18 game. Cincinnati net yards 603 or growth, and then Kansas, their totals 597.
I want to know how Kansas
1,200
quarterback
total
Jalen-
yards of offense, 71 points. Of course, it was the big XII.
I just want to know how Kansas quarterback Jalen Daniels ended up going 19 for 28, 445 yards,
Uh-huh.
and 4 touchdowns.
And Emmanuel Henderson goes 5 catches for 214 with a long of 93. Look, you know that there's going to be some extra time spent in the secondary room next week for Cincinnati, or getting ready for their next game for Cincinnati. That's going to be, yeah. And
Talk about the most worthless. If the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year has got to be the worst award.
So
He only gave up 30 touchdowns.
well,
this year.
so then what you're saying is that the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year is the least offensive player of the year?
Oh,
The least offensive or least offensive?
Yes. And by the way, Cincinnati next week hosts Iowa State. Noon kick. Have fun with that one. Take the under. Take the under, whatever it is.
Couple other things to mention before we wrap up here on the first half of the show. Going down the list of games, the Battle of New Mexico. New Mexico gets the win over New Mexico State, 38-20.
Yeah.
Jack Lane, 4 TD passes for the Lobos in that win.
Yeah.
And
Our
then
buddy Robert Portnoy is happy about that. Jason Eck continues to have a great first season.
a little further down, we look at the Hawaii and Air Force game.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii wins 44-35. Micah Alejado,
Uh-huh.
35 for 47, 457, and 3 touchdowns for Hawaii.
You didn't have to
Huge
wait.
game.
You didn't have to wait till 11:59 to put juice boxes on that one for a change. Take the over, and they did 82 on your total. That was, and I think the total was like in the mid to high 60s.
aloha means goodbye.
Exactly.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Oh man.
Big shout out to Kennesaw State, once ranked as one of the 5 worst teams in college football this season. They moved to 3-2 with a 24-16 win over Middle Tennessee.
Middling Tennessee.
Mhm.
Virginia Tech winning their 2nd straight game as they pull out the 23-21 win over NC State.
Yeah, there are people. You mentioned hot seat. I don't know where Dave Doran's name is, Marty, at College Hot Seat. .com, but I would imagine that Dave Doran's name is high on that list.
It looks like he didn't crack the top 20 though.
Oh, see, that's a problem. There are a lot of folks. There are a lot of folks at NC State that are like, "Yep, we're done."
And we wrap things up looking at the week of college football action with the 2 overtime thriller at Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
The Lovely Bride's alma mater, the Raging Cajuns, get the double overtime win or the single overtime win versus Marshall, 54-51.
I mean, come on now. Well, no, it had to be double OT because
It was double OT. You're correct.
Let's say Louisiana scored 13 points in the overtime periods, but
And Marshall scored 10.
yes, and so it for me, Marshall was a 1.5 point favorite going into this one, and I actually did say take Louisiana. Give the point, go the over on the total because of the 2 quarterbacks. Carlos Del Rio, who we know from McEachern High School here in OSG HQ, was half of that, and he threw for 258 and 3 for Marshall. But yes, 105 points, double overtime, and the Raging Cajuns got the Duke.
And the unfortunate part of this game is the box score does not exist on the score on the list of scores.
Wow, that's bad. They're still trying to figure it out.
The calculator's still trying to work overtime to get them all down.
It broke.
And that wraps up a week 5 of college football action. When we return for the second half of the review, we'll take a look at games coming up this week, week number 6 in college football. And we will do everybody's favorite segment, College Football on a Budget, where we give you advice on games that you could see for roughly the price of a soft drink. All that and more, we return for the second half of the review. You are listening to the review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Please like and subscribe and stay for the second half.
Over here in the OSG sports side of things, we talk football. FOOTBALL. College football version here with the college football review every single week. But for those of you that like not just football with two O's, but football with a U, FUTBOL, there's the Soccer Down Here Network. I'm John Nelson. I host the morning show on Soccer Down Here along with Jarrett Smith, Nick Alifi, Jason Longshore. And if you're looking for the best information when it comes to the world of soccer, based in the southeastern United States, but we don't leave anything off the table. 9:05 Eastern time until 11 whenever. Sometimes we go for a while. SDH Network morning show, soccer's morning show, Monday through Friday, plus all the live events we do. It is your place and your source for soccer that is based in the Southeast, but covers everything on the world. SoccerDownHere.net, the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android through our friends at Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R in the middle. Spreaker, do a search for OSG Sports. Do a search for Soccer Down Here. All the soccer content all in one place. It is the SDH Network and Soccer Down Here.
Bitches.
There you go.
Beetlejuice.
We're going long today, shit.
Well, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things to talk about.
We got on a roll.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I think we're going to have to expand a little bit. Might be the cost of drinking a dog.
Yeah, not a lot of. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of low price games on the board.
Well, considering that we went 45 minutes for the first segment.
Yeah, we can keep it
It's
short.
fine. Keep it. We got to hold by the prices.
Mm-hmm. We do.
We could help drive prices down.
See, there you go.
Second half coming in 3, 2. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. You have made it to the second half of the show. And this is the part where we talk about the upcoming week's games and, of course, college football on a budget. And we'll start with a busy week. Thursday game, Sam Houston at New Mexico State. Don't really have a whole lot of interest in that one.
Oh, come on.
And there's not really a whole lot if you look at the Friday schedule either. So we'll kick right into Saturday's action.
Through $14 get in at CEF Credit Union for New Mexico and San Jose.
Don't get ahead of yourself, John.
That's above the price point.
I know.
Yes. Saturday action, your noon kickoffs, probably the headliner game. Kentucky travels to Athens to take on a reeling Georgia Bulldogs squad.
Oh boy.
12 o'clock kickoff on ABC.
Oh boy.
That one should
Somebody's going to get some
really
aggression taken out of
Georgia,
them.
Kentucky
Yeah.
not very good this season.
Yeah, this is going to be a game where it's going to be very one-sided, and I don't know if they're going to get to the total because Kentucky won't be scoring a whole lot of points.
Some more noon kickoff action. Sly Fox's Illini travel to
Purdue.
Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, Indiana, to take on Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, the past 10, 15 years, that's been a house of horrors for Illinois. As bad as Purdue has been, Illinois has just had all sorts of trouble with them. So keep your eye on this one.
Purdue's always good for beating somebody they shouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's usually late in the year when it's snowing and it's just really moody conditions, and it gives the Purdue band the opportunity to smash the largest bass drum on this or any other planet.
Smash. Band smash.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting game, partially more so because of the coaches as opposed to the players. A noon kickoff at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Oh.
Clemson travels to North Carolina to take on the Fighting Belichicks.
Oh, no. Oh,
Is anybody going to even pay attention to the players in this game?
no. No.
At least you're calling the team after him instead of her.
Yeah, that's only because we haven't gotten all the way through the season yet, and I didn't think of it until you just said
There you go.
it.
Wow.
Going to be an interesting game to watch.
Not
Needless to
interested.
say.
Not interested at all.
Dad, can I have $20 for the concession stand? Anyway, next game.
Air Force traveling to Navy Marine Course Stadium in Annapolis,
Uh-huh.
at Navy on CBS and Paramount Plus. An interesting game.
Hey, look, yeah, it's not football on a budget, nor should it be. But if you've never been to Annapolis to see a game,
Go.
Support your armed services.
Mm-hmm. Go. Doesn't
Your
matter.
3:30 slate highlighted by the Vanderbilt at Alabama game.
Oh,
at
thank God! I thought you were
Penn
going to say. I
Stadium.
thought you were going to say Penn State and UCLA for a second.
I was
Oof.
not.
Oh,
It definitely was not, and I was also not going to talk about Texas at Florida. Although that could be an interesting matchup. While Florida can't score, their defense is pretty stout.
yeah. And everybody's going to be on Billy Napier watch, so find out what happens there. Get in right now is $130, but we'll see what happens.
He's number one on Coach's Hot Seat, by the way.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's not his first time there either.
Hey, at least he's number one in something.
There are way too many jokes that could be made there.
Yeah.
Because he
Way too
coaches
many.
like number two.
I'll be honest with you guys. There's not a whole lot of good mid-afternoon college football matchups.
Syracuse is at SMU, and that
Coming
one.
up.
Don't expect that game to be close. Syracuse, as we talked about earlier, if they don't have their starting quarterback there, I don't give them a chance to win.
The best team money can buy, Texas Tech, Nightside. They're at Houston.
Yeah, that's not an afternoon game. We were talking about the afternoon games, John.
And that's how bad the afternoon games are.
In 1985, this would have been an interesting afternoon game. Michigan State at Nebraska, but alas, it is not in the 1990s.
Oh, that's not good.
Not
good.
Yeah, we can move down to the evening games.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Texas Tech at Houston. I would expect Texas Tech to roll in this game.
Man.
That's an easy
I don't
call.
know.
Man.
I don't know. Is there a number on that one yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We are early, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
your featured game of the night, the 7:30 kickoff at Doak Campbell Stadium in sunny Tallahassee, Florida, although it won't be sunny by the time this game kicks off. Miami travels to Florida State. Do the Seminoles really have a chance?
I'm deferring on this one. I'm scrunching my nose at this one. I am shaking my head, and I'm going to go hide under a table. Get in price $364, by the way. Understandably so. Well, I mean, it is also a capacity reduced Doak Campbell Stadium because of the renovations over the last couple of years. But yeah, so I'll see the over under on missed field goals shown by the ABC crew for Florida State. I'm going to go plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'll go with 4.
There's a parlay involving doinks, isn't there?
I'm sure there is.
I'm going way over the 3.5.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate the support. Love you.
I thought way over was in reference to a kick.
I do think Florida State's got a puncher's chance in this game. Whether they're actually able to land that punch is a different issue, but I think they do have a shot to win. Miami really hasn't played anybody that deep on the schedule yet.
True.
But we're going to find out what both teams are made of. Can the Seminoles bounce back from a pretty kind of a hideous loss?
Yeah, thanks for all the reminders. I appreciate this very much. I'll be thinking about this all week, and then when we reconvene in a week, I'll still be thinking about this one for an entire week. So thanks.
Tune in next week for a diatribe.
Basically, yes.
How about this? How about this, John? If Illinois can bounce back and beat USC, then I think Florida State can bounce back and beat Miami.
Comparing USC to the University of Coral Gables, sir. That's a bit of a fair comparison.
I actually want to live stream John watching this game.
That would be kind of interesting.
God. Yeah, I'm going to be hiding under a table.
That'd be a great visual.
Yeah, you'll just see a table. You'll see this shot with nothing happening and maybe some audio. So that would be
looking like the Blair Witch Project.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anthony and Michael Hall in 16 Candles when he's trapped under the table at Jake's house.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah.
The only other, looking down the list of games, the only other game that really has some intrigue for me, at least, I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think Mississippi State could give Texas A&M at least a little bit of a battle.
For a quarter and a half. I think it's a slow first quarter. I think Mississippi State tries to grind it to a halt. Then I think that A&M figures it out. The side of the helmet says ATM, y'all. I mean, come on. Yeah, I give it a quarter and a half, and then I think Texas A&M puts the pedal down. I think that Mike Elko is tired of his team being disrespected. Just go and look up his post-game comments from Saturday, and I think that it could be a long day by the time they're done. Mississippi State is progressing in their plan. It's just going to take a little while longer. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. We ready for football on a budget?
Yeah, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, College Football on a Budget, where we talk about games that you could go see, usually for the price of roughly a well-produced soft drink.
With plenty of the
Generally, that means games that are under $10 to get in. Sometimes a little bit more, because partially at
Adjusted
least
for
this week-
inflation to include
Yes.
Hawaii.
yes.
Yeah, partially this week because we don't have a whole lot of games that are that hard to get into.
Yeah.
We'll start off with one of the lowest priced games on the board, at least looking this far out. UT San Antonio at Temple at the Link in Philadelphia. The get-in price for that $7. That's going to be an empty football stadium. I can't imagine them getting that one even close.
I'm just gonna go because that's the only opportunity you could go there without having the fans be absolute idiots and jerks.
I see that.
I've been to that stadium. It's a really cool stadium with a good view of the city from the upper deck. So for $7, I'd say it's definitely worth a look.
Okay.
Yep, I too
You
have
could
been to
probably
that
afford
stadium.
front row though with that game.
Yeah.
I too have been to that stadium, but for a Philadelphia Eagles game where the fans, yes, were incredibly unruly.
Lower level is anywhere from, by the way, lower level is anywhere from $7 to $21.
I can believe that. I can't imagine that anybody's going to buy a seat in the upper level there.
It's a
Why
great
would
game
you?
if you like legroom.
Yes, it is. And also, if you wanted to get a suite in the C level, tickets go for as high as 133, or you could just go 2 or 3 suites over and pay anywhere from 25 to 26 bucks.
So wouldn't it be kind of funny if
An
everybody
entire
bought,
suite.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny if everybody that did go to that game bought upper level seats and nobody sat in the lower level?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
I might buy a suite for $25. Is food with that?
I don't know. Club level 23 is a $26 ticket right now.
Another game under $10 that surprises me a little bit because neither one of these teams are too terrible. Virginia travels to Louisville to take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals undefeated. Virginia on a roll after their win over Florida State. You're getting price at LN Federal Credit Union Stadium in Louisville, $9.
Well,
I'm in.
Well,
I'm in for that one.
$9, that's a good game.
yeah, and at least you won't have to worry about students running onto the field.
It just surprises me. I would have thought that one would have been a little harder to get a ticket for.
Hey, take
Especially
it and
after
run.
last week.
Take it and run.
Yeah, clearly, the Louisville faithful, not so faith, don't have a whole lot of faith.
When's
when it comes-
basketball season?
Don't have a whole lot of faith when it comes to their team. We'll go through a couple of other low price games just because we need to fill a little bit of time to wrap up the show. Here's one for you.
Oh.
New Mexico traveling to San Jose State, a 10 p.m. Eastern kickoff on FS1, but that also means it's a 7 o'clock kickoff in San Jose, California at CEFCU Stadium. You're getting price for that $14.
Yeah, I think I could swing that one.
Meh.
If you're out in that part of the world, it's
Right.
not at a bad time.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Nice long tailgate too.
Yes, and so I will see your price of a drink and a dog. I'll give you 2 in 1 AA. Murray State in South Dakota at the Dakota Dome in Vermillion, get in price $16. And then North Dakota at Northern Iowa at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, get in price $14. 2 really cool environments in 1 AA. You haven't been there yet, I would recommend going. The UNI North Dakota game, the Unidome is definitely worth viewing once to sit there, like the Kibbe Dome in Idaho, those kinds of things. Going to all of these domes in 1AA, they're experiences that you probably should have once. And I don't know if you're going to be able to get into the Uni Dome for less than 14 for the rest of the year.
Partially because those domes are roughly the size of an extra large basketball
Yeah,
arena.
you could call it cozy.
Yes.
Not a lot of space on the sidelines.
It is an amphitheater setting in a dome. It's a 3/4 house show is what it is.
That was one of the worst drives I ever made in college.
And guys, I think that pretty much covers just about everything. And
Until there's a coach that gets dismissed, and then we get to figure that out again.
but that won't be until after we finish recording the show.
Correct.
You'll know when my edit's done exporting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got to say, at least looking ahead, this week looks like it could be potentially a little bit of a letdown after what was a pretty darn exciting week number 5.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. It's college football, and as we all know, just about anything can happen, and quite often it does.
Mm-hmm.
So when we join you again next week, we'll have, I'm sure, quite a bit to talk about, including whatever coach ends up losing their job roughly about the time that we hit stop on the record button.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain that I'll still be under a table when we come back next week.
But we'll see how that goes. So at this time, I think it's time to sign off for the entire OSG Sports family. We are the Online Sports Guys. Thanks for tuning into the review, and we'll see everybody again next week.
Please like and subscribe and support your local high school.
What Marty said.